Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Makerere Rugby Grounds. This is the graveyard. And on screen right now are the Makerere Impis, the home team here at the University Rugby Grounds. They are wearing pink, however, because they are playing in the away game in the biggest clash in Ugandan rugby, the Makerere Derby, between the landlord and the tenant. The Makerere boys always take the right side of the pitch on their run onto the pitch, led by Pius Mpoza. And the Rams, who are the home team today, as you will be seeing, are the home team today, the tenants here at Makerere. It is a beautiful day of Ugandan rugby. Lots and lots of action happening in Kampala, here at Makerere, Chadondo, and at Legends Rugby Grounds. Then in Jinja at Dam Waters, and also in Entebbe. Beautiful rugby all around the country. Welcome to Kawawa Sports, where we shall be having the full and live broadcast of Rams Rugby Union Football Club taking on the Makerere Impis in round 11 of the Nile Special Rugby Premier League. Center referee for today is Umar Balikanda. And there you have the home team, the Rams, sitting at the bottom of the Premier League table, yet to win a single game. Praying for hope, praying for redemption, but most importantly, getting their gears and efforts set for an objective of jump-starting their season. And there is the Impis, as vibrant as ever. That's number 7 in Clive Lumu, getting a few words and crossing paths with Shafiq Wampande. In short now is the veteran himself making a return to active rugby, Twaha Chomhendo, in the number 9 position. We'll be having a rundown of the fixtures for today just before kickoff. The Rams will be kicking off from left to right on your screens. My name is Ernest Akorebi Runji, and today I'll be joined by Ruben Chihumuro on commentary. Ruben, what a beautiful day we have here.
Yeah, I'm always excited to watch such a game. Like you said, the biggest derby in the land. Both teams will desperately be needing the win. Impis looking to get back to winning ways. Rams know that as we are clearly into the second half of this season, they need to start winning if they need to get off the bottom.
And get off the bottom they will need to do, beginning with that kickoff, a low but long kick by Hashim. And the first objective for Impis is to exit their territory. Well gathered by Kenneth Okong, looking for work in the midfield of the pitch. Rams, as all rugby games usually go, get the first chance to attack, but then it's fumbled and lost forward into the hands of Shafiq Wampande. And now Captain Kennedy Muhumuza looking for Roy, finds him on a low pass. Roy Kizito. Has he been hurt in that run-up of play? Jonathan Magezi now to Ariho Muhumuza, loses that ball forward in contact, but was that a high tackle? Felt like there was contact above the head, above the shoulder line, but I'm not sure. What did you make of that?
That's the tricky situation about some of these calls, because you have to also assess and see how it goes. But ideally, it always goes back to the referee and the decision that the referee is going to make. It did seem a bit high, but the fact that there was no direct contact to the neck or to the head, then perhaps the referee deemed it to be a legal tackle, you should say. But that was a chance that Impis should have really used. A big man like Ariho Muhumuza is tasked to carry, and when you want to carry and carry well, you need to keep that ball and you need to keep it well. But this is going to be the first scrum of the game, as we are going to assess both sides from the scrum point of view. Remember, both these teams are in desperate need of a win. Impis started the season with a bang, but then lost their footing with a series of games that they have lost consecutively, dropping to 6th position. But they need to find themselves back into winning ways, and today is a very, very vital way to start. We saw them last week get a chance to even rest a couple of players, and hopefully that decision should pay off today. Rams desperately need to start winning, and the winning needs to start today because they are at the wrong side of the table. They are at the bottom, and relegation is beckoning. Can they be able to get the winning starting? And it all starts with their senior players, the likes of Jude Rakayanga, who's given the rare start today, always coming off the bench, but today seemingly starting this game. His experience is going to be key. Emmanuel Chibiriga as well, who's in the center, will also be very, very vital in how Rams is going to play in this particular one.
Both teams are highly motivated today, having denied their respective opponents the winning bonus point here last weekend. Rams losing to the Pirates by 33 points, 24, and Heathens and Impis 24-14 against Heathens. With the wind in their sail, which of the teams will be the first to strike? It's in the hands of Jude Kakara for the Rams. Off that 8th man pick, in the number 9 position is Michael Kalyango, the star with his beautiful side steps. Still in possession, the Rams. That's Solomon Aliampa carrying beyond the gain line, and now Fred Ochan. Hashim Kabogoza to the backs it goes. Emmanuel Kibirige now. Kenneth Obito, the man called Juan Kalit. Michael Emojong this time, but loses the ball forward in contact, and the Impis have been caught offside. First shot at goal of the game for the Rams, it is Michael Kalyango, playing in the number 9 position today. He has been deployed at number 10. He has been deployed at 15. And today, he is the go-to man for points against the Impis. Quick reminder, Ruben, is that last weekend the Rams led 14-9 at halftime. They are very well known for starting strong in the game compared to Impis, who have a slow start. And with that effort from Michael Kalyango, a bit relaxed, sort of goes against the trend that we have seen from the Rams so far in this season.
Yeah, definitely you are right that Rams normally start games strong, but it is something that is going to be worrying Coach Lumu. They seem to always let off the gas and seem to lose steam and give away games that they should have won. And it was sort of the same case in the first leg in this one, where Hosanna Opeleni was really good with the boot, controlling the game, but somehow Impis stole the win, making it 23-21 as the game ended. But Michael Kalyango missing that one. I am having particular concerns about the choice of ball used today. It does not seem like an ideal test rugby ball, I should say. But anyway, that's my opinion. But however, just from the hearing, the way it sounded when Michael Kalyango was kicking for goal, it didn't seem right. As we are saying, Kennedy Muhumuza being optimistic there, but very good fielding there by Rams.
I think, Ruben, we might be caught at fault as the workmen that blamed their tools. But we know for a fact that if that ball bounced on the line, Twaha left that ball to bounce, but I feel like that ball is in the playing field. The ball bouncing on the line. What do the regulations say? The ball bouncing on the line, is it in the playing field or is it off the playing field? And so, thinking the referee is there, Umar Barikanda, making the decision that that ball was hoofed straight into touch. It bounces on the line. That means it's out, isn't it? So, Impis will be getting a line out just into the 10. 5-man line out goes to Shafiq Wampande. Very beautiful line. And then straight out to the forwards, the tight 5. Beautiful tip-on pass by Ariho Muhumuza to Sediabane, who loses it into contact. And Hashim Kabogoza this time doing better off the boot, finding that space behind Robert Sentongo. And Impis have lost about 20-25 meters in just one phase of play.
Yeah, we have seen a particular characteristic as this game started, that Impis seem to carry and lose the ball every time they are carrying, and that is something that Coach Cyrus Seboliva will not want to be seeing. But however, interesting territory for Rams to be playing in, despite the fact that they will be defending as play resumes. And Spencer Muhire moves the ball out wide. Kennedy Muhumu's out, a big game, and yet again breaking the line to Roy Kizito. Back to Kennedy Muhumu's, a good interplay there. One of the complaints has been that we have not seen much of Impis's backs get to express themselves, but this is a good sign to show, and yet they get a penalty for their efforts. So it's interesting to see what decision is going to be taken, because one of the things that is going to be key is decisions. John Magezi there, Jonathan Magezi, in the big shoes of Henry Sekuye, had a tight angle there to find touch and doesn't get much distance, but better safe than sorry. So it's going to be a line out there to Impis just next to the 22-meter mark. The set piece from the scrum to the line out is going to be very, very important, and this looks like a game that's going to be a fine margin, so every chance you get should be maximized to the most.
Magezi in his third straight start at number 10 for Impis in the absence of Henry Sekoye, finding touch, but Ayebari's second throw not straight, and the Rams have possession. Hashim Kabogo's a ball taken back into his 22. He needs to find some grass, doesn't, but stays in the playing field, and Twaha Chomuhendo returns the ball with interest. Well fielded by Michael Kalyango. It is ping pong rugby now, but Kalyango opts to go for the dummy. Good kick chase from the veteran number 9, but a penalty has gone against the Impis for tackling the man without the ball. And a further 10 meters for back chatting. Kalyango is very lucky to get away with that call. Jude Rakayanga to the front of the line out, and it's lost forward by the Rams. Second scrum of the game is a better balanced set piece as compared to the line out. But it's a fast feed for the Impis, and it is collapsed at the front by Fredo Chan. Twaha Chomuhendo looking to get away with a quick restart, but it's off the mark, and I don't think he scratched the ball there, did he? There's Jonathan Magezi, the youngster, like we mentioned. Third straight start at number 10 for Impis in the place of Henry Sekuye. It's a very, very high stakes for the youngster, but so far he's doing well and earning the nod of his coaches. Good for Everett. This time makes amends. Beautiful line out at the number 2. Back inside for Sediamane. Over the gain line, Impis go. Quick ball. Caught behind the gain line is Spencer Muhire. And held up. It has taken about 5 minutes. 12 minutes rather. And Rams have finally deployed the master tactic of holding the ball carrier up. And they're not doing just that, they're advancing forward. Impis have decided not to contest until Ariho Muhumuza puts the shoulder in and the maul has been called. That's the better decision at that point. You're losing meters. You'd rather just have a scrum inside the territory, but wow, what defense from the Rams.
Yeah, characteristic defensive strategy from the Rams that we have seen all season, and I think it's even coming to 2 years now that they started deploying this and they have really become masters at it. But Impis found themselves having a maul moving in the wrong direction for a ball that they possessed, and for having no ground gained and no territory utilized from that maul, they lose the ball. And credit to Rams for that response to what seemed like an encouraging attack from Impis, but now it's going to be Rams with the opportunity to show their stuff. They did have the first attempt at goal, so they had their first attempt at points, but unfortunately were unsuccessful with the absence of Hosanna Opileni makes it hard for other kickers to really impose themselves. As we're seeing a counter-attack, Jerome Tiasiku trying to snipe to the gaps gathered by the old-timer Emmanuel Chibirige. And they try to again use their defensive strategy. Big hit there. Kennedy Muhumuza. He's not called Shaka for nothing. Shaka, the leader, the captain, and he even gets a penalty just for that. But a big man. He had a big display last week with an assist and a try against Heathens in that game where they denied Heathens a bonus point. And here, yet again, showing his stuff. Like we said, big shoes for him to fill in the absence of crowd favorite Henry Sakuya, who is second top point scorer in the league as well. And the youngster now, who has started 3 games in consecutive fashion, is really trying to find his footing, I should say. Godfrey Ayebare at the line out has been really good with his throws so far. Coordinating well with John Mary Tamale. Let us see. This is a vital territory for them to be able to get that line out, and it could effect what would be a very good kick. And they are gathered well, and the maul is effected, but there was no defense. And their Rams really being cunning, and just the whole concept of understanding the laws, brilliant there for them from the line out, not contesting, and then the maul continues to move with no opposition, which deems that to be obstruction, and ball back to the Rams, who get an opportunity to get themselves out of their half.
Another turnover won by the Rams. Still at the set piece. Rams appear to be smarter than the Impis at that set piece. And they've gone way beyond the gain line. Hashim Kabogoza looking for that space behind the Impis defense, and then some acrobatic defending from Twaha Chomhendo, giving away a penalty advantage to the visitors. Good catch from Jude Rakayanga, the old man of the team. And the advantage is not gained. Yeah, the easy decision at that point is to go to the corner for the line out. And that's a beautiful kick by Kabogoza into the 22. They've been very good in the line out defense, but we'll need to see how good they are on the line out attack and what Impis' response is going to be. It's a 4-man line out with 2 options to jump. Kaliango in that number 9 position, but to the back and then to the front to Emmanuel Emojong. Smart play from the Rams. And then attacking on the edge. So right direction flow. The backs are so deep that they've left the forwards to play the ball, and it's been lost in contact by Jude Kakara. How easy was that turnover by the Impis?
I mean, it's been a story of this game from both sides that they always seem to have good defensive displays, but when they get an opportunity to attack, somehow they lose the ball. I mean, they're making it easy for the defenses to do their roles. And there you are just again seeing the youngster there from Rams really just dropping the ball without any hassle that has been put on him so far. And another opportunity again squandered, and Impis with the opportunity to exit their half, but that is something that both sides need to fix, something that both sides need to really get right.
Into the pocket and then to the right for Jonathan Magezi. That's a beautiful kick. He has a good boot, the youngster. He has a very good boot on him, and he plays such a calm and composed style of rugby. I think there's a few rugby players like that in this country. And then again, this time they go to the back. It's not a straight ball. It's gone all the way to the back, and what a carry from Kakara. Now the backs, Chibirige, Obito. Oh, beautiful catch by Colin Zisabilier. And that last pass went forward. But what a break from the Rams. The momentum is slowly shifting towards their way. They've carried from one edge to the other. Just that final handling error, that forward pass, is what has turned possession away from them.
Yeah, definitely it was a case of hot potato, but the second last man did not understand it was supposed to be a quick pass out. He delayed it slightly, and just like we said, it's going to be a game of fine margins, and that was one of the examples of fine margins. And yet again, just giving the forward pass when it should have mattered.
Amos Asimire putting in the work on that loose head. And then Emmanuel Sediabane directly behind the scrum. Jonathan Magezi in the pocket, another long kick. Finding Kenneth Okong, well fielded as he went backwards, and Okong will straighten. Held up by Spencer Muhire and then brought down by Kennedy Muhumuza. Kabogo's at return Jonathan Magezi's favor, but he slips. The Rams somehow maintain possession. It's fumbled by the Impis defense. The pitch is slippery today, and so is the ball. Fredo Chan scored a beautiful pro pick and drive try against the Pirates last weekend. And now Okong again. Oh, strong tackle by Ayebare. Then a long kick looking for some space at the back, but well fielded by the Impis. Bounces off the chest of Roy Kizito, and then Twaha Chomuhendo in the wrong place at the wrong time gives away a penalty. Quick restart by Chibirige. Offloading to Kenneth Obito. And the Rams are now 5 meters away. Jude Rakayanga tip on pass. How have they not made that count, the Rams? Penalty for offside, but then it all started at that point. That catch by Roy, the ball bouncing off his chest. And then to Chomuhendo caught offside.
We talk about players understanding the rules and really just knowing that what is the situation I'm in right now. And there, Twaha Chomuhendo not understanding that he is already in an offside position. Why is he holding the ball?
There's Impis also now returning the favor. It has been, like you said, a game of fine margins. Emojong carries that ball straight into contact, is held up, and it's a turnover play. 23 minutes in. About halfway through the first half and still 0-0. We got some results across the city center. It was 6-3 for the Black Pirates against the Buffaloes at Chadondo. And the rest of the games, the 4 games, have all kicked off at 4 p.m. Twaha Chomuhendo looking to buy a penalty from the referee. But the referee says play on. Sediabane on the 8th man pick now. Jonathan Magezi this time sliced it off the right side of his boot. Long pass out by Kaliango to Okong. He has 2 men on the outside, deploys them. Emmanuel Kibirige, was that a forward pass? No, it wasn't. One Khalid, what a hit. What a tackle as well from Robert Sentongo. The Rams in attack. Held up again, and the maul has been called. Impis are deploying the Rams tactics against the Rams.
Yeah, they are Rams getting a little taste of their own medicine. I think from the situation they're in, they must be feeling it now, what they normally do to other sides. But yet again, I should say that Rams looks to be playing the better rugby with ball in hand. Impis got their chances in territory, but they did not use them. Now they find themselves in a series of defensive scrambles, but they need to play in the right territorial zones, otherwise they may find themselves getting hurt either by conceding penalties or by perhaps having a try squad against them.
Yeah, despite being the away team today, or rather at any time they are playing Impis today, the Rams are playing their 3rd straight home game, and perhaps that's what has given them the advantage today in the run of play. They played against the Buffaloes here, then last in the midweek game, and then the Black Pirates here at 4 p.m. and they're back again. This time it might be a derby where they are the tenants, but they are the home team. That's why Impis is wearing the pink jersey. But for Impis, a tough run of fixtures as well. The first game outside the top 5 since round 5 against the Rhinos. Also, the Rhinos game was their last win. So Impis have been on the pump, been under the pump, I should say. 5 straight losses after 5 straight wins, and no bonus point, and lower rank of the table is catching up with them steadily. This is an opportunity for both teams. Rams without the win in 10 games, Impis without the win and any point in the last 5 games to get back to winning ways. As we slowly but steadily tick away during this season. Beautiful tip-on pass by Kakara. And yet again, Jonathan Magezi holding up the Rams defense. The sour taste of Rams medicine is being felt by the home team today.
Clearly, the Impis did their homework. They are very, very expectant and very alert in the way they're executing this. But you can see yet again, a beautiful set play by the Rams is halted by tactics that they are popularly known for. That is perhaps the you could call it the situation of having two teams sharing a particular home ground. Where maybe perhaps one can have a glimpse into the other's training. But yet again, Impis now turn defense into attack. Let's see if they can be able to do something with the ball now.
5 turnovers, 1 for the Impis compared to 2, and it's the same exact tactic. The scrimmages are raking in the numbers. This time Impis not opting for the 8th man pick. They decide to go to the blind side. Quick ball, that should be a yellow card for cynical play by Michael Kalyango. Felt like a basketballer or a volleyballer hitting the ball to the floor there. He'll be very lucky to go away without a yellow card, and you can see the appeal from Kennedy Muhumuza.
Yeah, referee being a little too lenient, perhaps maybe wanting to just keep the game free and flowing. Yeah, like you said, there were a couple of appeals. But regardless, the referee remains sole judge of fact on the pitch, and as we're seeing, Henry Sekuye has been given the role of T-boy today. He has perhaps maybe a few words before the kick will be vital for Robert Sentongo, who has a very, very big responsibility in his absence.
Yeah, Henry Sekuye has been running the kicking tee for 3 games now. Jonathan Magezi playing in that precious number 10 jersey. But away from that, Robert Sentongo has been the go-to kicker for points for the Impis, especially last weekend in slotting in those 2 conversions that ended up denying Heathens the winning bonus point, but then also keeping Impis at that 24-14 score. A beautiful result for the Makere boys last weekend. Can he get his campaign started today? It's in a zone that is very fertile for his right boot. Last weekend he curled it through the uprights. Today he hits it straight through, and Impis strike fast. They lead 3-0.
Yeah, it's a case of Rams not really using many of their chances and now getting beaten for that. But Robert Sentongo has been stellar. From last week, his kicks made sure that Impis was at least slightly closer to the Heathens and making it a little bit difficult. And he has shown that in the absence of Henry Sekuye, he is the go-to man, showing that Impis is not just a one-man kind of situation. They do have another array of players that they can trust when it comes to a ball to boot.
Half an hour played and Impis lead by 3 points. The momentum has slowly shifted away from the home team, the Rams. A couple of wasted opportunities, a couple of visits to the 22 going unsuccessful, and one sniff just outside the 10-meter territory, and Impis were able to put points on the board. They can now get a chance to exit their territory. Tuahacho Muhendo putting in a word to the referee yet again. Would make for a very good lobbyist, the number 9. And now Spencer Muhire in that number 10 position, giving Jonathan Mageze space to hit it long and deep into the territory. Is that a 50-22 saved by Kenneth Okong? And then straight through the middle, splitting the Impis backfield. Jerome Tasiku, a late replacement in the game. On the counter-attack now, Impis straight carrying by Ariho Muhomuza in front of Michael Lemojong. And then back to the blind side. Beautiful switch play by the Impis. That pass could have been better, but Ayebare has it in possession now. And then held up. Rams are finally woken up to play like they are known to play, but the entire team had been caught offside in that switch play by the Impis.
Yeah, but I think what's really catching my eye at the moment is Jonathan Magezi and the way he is kicking. He is kicking like he has about, let's say, 50 tests to him. And yet again, the youngster with so much confidence and dexterity from a tight angle, and you can just hear the response from the crowd. Their amazement of this youngster, asking themselves, where has this man been? And putting Impis just inside the 22-meter area, just next to the 5-meter mark. Brilliant there from the young boy.
Coming of age, Jonathan Magezi. It either puts a smile on Sekuya's face or some worry in his heart. Sekuya getting closer to his 30s. This is a youngster who has just begun his rugby career. He might be thinking the position which was always a sure start for him, for the veteran Impis halfback, now has some stiff competition. And what a line out from the Impis. Arihom Homza again, straight carrying from the big boys. Twaha pointing to the blind side. But the forward still knocking and knocking. Newton Mwebaze. And then to the open side. Arihom Homza again. They said Yabani with his hands on the ball. On the inside, still short. Amos Asimire, is he over the line? Also still short. This is crunch time for the Makerere boys. This is defensive work for the Rams. Spencer Muhire should have sent that ball out. He didn't, but there's still space on the outside. Roy Kizito also caught. Still short. The fans have their heads in their hands. Very quick phase of defense, but still Impis ball. Emmanuel Kibirige has been sent to the bin for a high tackle. There's Emmanuel Kibirige making his way to the comfort of the plastic seat under that tent. And as we get some treatment for the player on the floor there, Impis came close to scoring points. Impis should have scored points, but somehow Rams were able to defend that.
I think one of the players that has really gotten much attention for his efforts is Roy Kizito in the build-up to this particular one. But in that case, you could say it was great improvisation by the Impis, even when there was a rush defense by Rams. But then that final pass, he did not back himself to go out on the wide. I know there were a lot of Rams defenders scrambling, but he should have at least, worst case scenario, gotten them inside the 5-meter area. But brilliant attacking there being shown, and also brilliant cover defense by the Rams. You have to give them credit for their efforts in that particular one.
Kenneth Obito is the Rams player being attended to. Appears to be a shoulder injury. But there's two players in the sin bin there. It's both Roy Kizito and Emmanuel Kibirige, who are not able to get the shot or even clear sight of what happened. But perhaps the referee and his assistant had a clear view of the scene of crime. Roy Kizito, I would love to understand how that happened. Roy Kizito, and with the ball in hand. And his tackler, Emmanuel Kibirige, both will be in the comfort of the sin bin for the next 10 minutes as the Rams now get a chance to throw in the line out. Perhaps what could explain what could have happened?
Should be a case of off-ball shenanigans there, maybe after the tackle, and then maybe trying to have a few things done there. But anyway, we shall confirm later with that. But all we know is that both sides are now on 14 men.
14 all, and then a straight ball to the back of the line out at number 6 for the Rams. But then there, you'd expect Nicholas Bukenya to be well aware of the rugby rules, of the rugby laws rather. Once you've been tackled, the first objective is to release the ball, get back on your feet, and then play again. And he's been caught on the wrong side of the row. Twa Chomuhendo has called for the number 8 pick. You can see he's apologizing to the technical bench and to the rest of the team who had hoped they could get some 3 points on the board. But perhaps I would love to understand the rationale behind that decision. Both teams are a man down. The player in the bin is the backline player, so it's a bit tricky to understand, isn't it?
Definitely it is, and Twaha Chomuhendo, with his relative experience there, that should be a shock of a call from the Robert Sentongo should have had a shot at goal there, but unfortunately the scrum for Impis is what they go for.
Perhaps it will pay off with Emmanuel Sediabane's carry into the 22. Contest at that breakdown from a standing start is Newton Mwebaze, and he has lost that ball forward. He wasn't ready to receive that ball in that phase, and Twaha's call will have the Impis thinking they should have taken the 3. Michael Kaliango on the quick restart, and then Fred Ochan, beautiful tackle on the boot laces by Shafiq Wampande, or rather Clive Lumu, and it's been booted straight into touch. By the Rams, no territorial gain there from that kick. And perhaps there's a couple of lessons to be learned by Twaha Chomuhendo, calling for calm within his ranks, having made the wrong call there, or rather a right call that didn't go right for the visitors today.
I guess that's the fate of the Maverick. When they get that decision going and they score a try, they are called heroes. When it goes wrong, then they are villains. But let's see if they can clean up from that missed opportunity.
A lot of movement in the line out, and the gap will need to be, there will need to be a meter gap at least between the two teams in that tunnel. Let's see if it will have the same movement going to number 2. Beautiful movement, Shafiq Wampande off the top. Long pass out wide to Ariho Muhumuza. Oh, big carry. The big man is running. And a beautiful offload to Amos Asimire. What a carry from Muhumuza. The two, Asimire and Muhumuza, went to Ntare School where they began their rugby careers. And now on the far edge is Robert Sentongo into the 22. The flag is up. Was he carried into touch? What a carry from Ariho Muhumuza, bumping off the fan and then fending off the second one. And then over the gain line he went. Rams attempting a quick start. But the regulations, the conditions for the quick start have not been satisfied there. When you have more than 2 players within that 5-meter and 15-meter territory, then there's no option for a restart, I believe.
Yeah, definitely, you're right on that one. Maybe perhaps a case of Rams trying to be overly eager and get themselves out of their half. But yeah, interesting game. And as we're coming to the end of the first half, we're seeing some interesting set plays there. But that carry from Ariho Muhumuza is what they call enough is enough.
I love seeing big men running, big men carrying, especially behind the gain line. And Muhumuza had me off my seat today. Not straight the line out. Impis should be calling for a scrum today. Out. And then the carry from Ariho Muhumuza. Boom for big hits there. brought down by the smallest of men. Twaha Chomhendo to feed. He runs the blind side. It's an 8-9 combination, and then a switch to Robert Sentongo over the gain line. Strong carrying from the Impis, but that's a forward pass by Twaha Chomhendo, and that will be the last play of this half. Both teams looking to get their wins. Both teams in desperate need of some positive results, and it is Impis that have taken the advantage going into the break. They lead by 3 points, courtesy of a Sentongo penalty at the half-hour mark, and they will be leading going into the second half by 3 points to nil. You don't want to go away. You don't want to miss the remaining 40 of this epic Makerere derby. And as usual, as we've noticed, Coach Lumu is always brief in his halftime instructions to his players, and Impis making maximum use of their halftime break, still in the team huddle. And there you have, after the coach Lumu has given his instructions to his players, and now the pack can get also some mini meetings in there, as now Umar Barikanda and his two assistants, including Ruben Opesa, a writer with the Sports Nation, they make their way to the playing field. There was an interesting result, Ruben, from Ginger. At halftime, the Hippos were leading 14-10 against the current league leaders, Cobs.
Yeah, it is something that was hinted on. A few people, actually there was a split between opinions. A few people thinking that Cobs with their relative form would go and blow Hippos away, but we have all known what Hippos can do when they are at home, and we are already seeing it. It's going to be interesting to see in the second half how they are going to be able to keep the momentum going and manage, because I know Cobs is going to throw the kitchen sink at them literally. So let us wait and see that.
Perhaps the rain has thrown a curveball into the works today. Black Pirates also leading. The last time we checked, 6 points to 3 earlier, and then it went into the break at 9 points to 3. No try scored there. Tough second half expected. And there we have Umar Balikanda getting to hear more appeals from the Impis leadership. Amos Asimire, the experienced utility forward, I should say, for the Impis. They will be taking the kickoff for the second half today. And there's Jerome Tasiku in the number 15 position. Acres of space in front of him. The Rams will be playing Ginger Hippos next weekend at home here. Their fourth home game in a row, and the Impis will be taking on the Black Pirates also at home, so it's a doubleheader at Makere in round 12 of 18 of the Nile Special Rugby Premier League. But first, the two of them, perhaps only one of them, will be going away with the win today. And Jonathan Magezi, being the smart man that he is, started a head-on collision from Jonathan Magezi and Solomon Aliampa. Magezi has been adjudged to have made a high tackle, but that was smart and bold for Magezi.
Yeah, definitely a youngster being there, just using a little bit of his brain, but now an opportunity by the Rams. Hashim Kabogoza getting some good touch there. He has been predominantly put at 12, but in the absence of Hosanna Opileni, he finds himself with a really big responsibility now at 10. And his first assignment, or one of his first assignments, is going to be to see if he can lead the Rams' resurgence in this particular one, getting them back to winning ways and perhaps getting off that bottom number 10 position, and not on pitch. We're talking about on the table where they're in the relegation slot.
Rams are also playing today without the captain Joseph Kana, and in his place is Shakur Saka. So missing some of their best players, but certainly putting up a good fight today. Quick ball to Jude Rakayanga, straight into contact and loses it forward. Has it been ripped? No, he hasn't. The decision is that he has lost that ball in contact. The youngsters are becoming more smart each passing season against the more experienced veterans.
Yeah, interesting there to see. And yet again, the story of predominantly much of this game is players failing to secure the ball when they are carrying, and that's something uncharacteristic from a man of the experience of Jude Rakayanga. And yet again, we're having a topsy-turvy situation when it comes to territory. One side carries, one side loses possession, the other side does the same. But now it is back to Impis, who are clad in their pink jerseys today. I'm a big fan of that jersey. I have to get those threads, but let's see if those threads can lead them to a win here.
You've always loved pink from your playing days at the Warriors. And what a cross kick by Spencer Muhire. Not sure if that was intentional, but the Impis were playing the advantage of that scrum penalty. 5 handling errors from the host team, the Rams, today. It's that front row of Amos Asimira and Newton Mwebaze that is giving the Impis the upper hand early on in the second half today.
So if you have the safe border app on your phone, there are agents moving through to
Jonathan Magezi finding touch
discounts for
just
you,
past the halfway
5,000
line.
off a safe car ride and 2,000 shillings off a safe border ride. So if you see any of the guys,
It's the first time in a long time that Impis have led at this point.
shut up your mouth. So the safe border guys who are moving around, yes, that's who are beat the petrol. He thinks all
Robert
of us are
Sentongo
out here.
already in double figures on the scorers charts.
So next time we just meet Dr. Anyway, the safe border guys are here. If you have the app, just look for any of the agents. Let them activate the promo codes. Let them activate
It was always
the
going to be a
promo
busy
codes on your
day
phone. 5,000
for the
shillings
medics
discounts
today,
off
especially
a safe
Jen
car
Mugisha
ride.
of the Impis, but also that duo of Roderick Mosoke and Sewali Abdul.
Border rides. Get the discounts right now.
There's Amos Asimire needing some strapping, I think, and you can see in the shot across is Roy Kizito and Emmanuel Kibirige still enjoying the comfort of the sin bin. But it is not a place that you'd want to be sitting at this point in time. Playing 14-all, perhaps you could say there's no advantage to either team, but both teams are certainly missing their services. Early lifting by the Rams, but then not a straight ball. And it's an Impis ball. It's been lost forward at the back of that line out there.
My opinion for that particular set of play was that it was lost forward by Michael Kalyango, but it was gathered by one of the Impis players, so it should have been advantage played, but perhaps the referee was not in a position to see it properly. But regardless, he has given the scrum to Impis. Game's still very, very tight here, and Impis will know that they need to get some extra points on board, whether it's a try, whether it's a penalty, whether it's a drop goal, because 3-0 is never a safe thing to be around.
Interesting positioning of the backs by Impis. They have Spencer Muhire in that number 10 position, and then Magezi slotting the number 12 position, but they'll not be making use of the backs as the forwards have given away a scrum penalty. Quick restart by the Rams, and then all the way to gain 20 meters in territory, and they have the advantage too. Kenneth Okong looking for work. He was isolated. Turnover well effected by Magezi, who I think we've run out of superlatives to describe how good this young man is playing today. That's a penalty for offside to the Rams. Kalyango opts to go for the upright. It's farther away than his first attempt was. But perhaps this time the wind is in his favor, and maybe he has got the engine running.
From my time of watching Ugandan kickers, I know that they always miss the simple kicks and they slot in the much harder kicks. So let us see here. Michael Kalyango has not been successful so far, but interesting to see what's going to happen.
Looks to have slipped in that attempt, and his kick is not successful. Gathered by Spencer Muhire, then bounces on and then back on. Everybody else is offside. Referee says is onside. Referee says ball lost forward by the Rams. It's going to be a scrimmage, Robert Sentongo, so no need to rush for that quick restart. But Kalyango, 2 attempts off the tee and 2 misses. Not the best of days for the youngster. And like you said earlier, a game of fine margins. It's these misses that are probably going to hurt the two teams. And at the moment, they are hurting the Rams. Both teams now back to the full 15. Roy Kizito and And Emmanuel Kibirige back onto the playing field. It's an interesting scrum feed. Emojong looks to be in an unstable posture. Will he be able to keep it on his feet? The pressure is coming in from Newton Mwebaze. What a scrum from the Impis, marching forward like a well-oiled machine. And now picked at the back by Sediawane. Quick ball. Kennedy Muhumuza now. But the play has been returned by Umar Balikanda. Let's hear what his call is going to be for this one. Penalty against the Impis for holding on. And Kalyango this time kicking from a dry patch. It's a better position, closer to the uprights, and angle similar to the one that Sentongo used to split the uprights. Maybe this time he can do better with his attempt.
Yeah, I'm having 0 out of 2. Interesting to see what Michael Kalyango is really going to do with this one. But it's desperate times for Rams, who are trying to get back into this game and have something to put on the scoreboard.
Getting some distraction from the Impis fans, but he has been used to this pressure for a long time. And suddenly it looks like it's working. He skews it to the left of the uprights, and Robert Sentongo hoops it to the halfway line. Shakur Saka on the counter-attack. Jude Kakara now. Fred Ochan. The big man has been arrested by Clive Lumu. And then now the backs can play. Emmanuel Kibirige's first involvement since coming off the sin bin. And Roy Kizito also. Beautiful tackle from the winger. Now Rams, another visit to the 22. Jude Kakara, tackle on the floor by John Mary Tamale. Quick ball, Kalyango is still playing. Kenneth Okong. Over the edge, the Rams have gone. Phase after phase. And now the backs can play. Oh, Hashim Kabogoza. The entire Impis backline was offside. And Kabogoza will be very lucky that that fumbled ball has been returned to him for offside. But what a phase of play. What ball retention by the Impis, by the Rams.
Yeah, Rams really, man, when I look at this whole set play and how it has been, Hashim Kabogoza should have punished Impis. Impis was really disjointed in its defensive lines. They had a man down who was injured, and they should have punished them. Rams should have punished Impis, but yet again, they have now to just settle for the 3 points, and that is if Michael Kalyango can find his kicking boots, but otherwise, Rams has had quite the more chances for in this game, but they have not been in position to really make Impis pay for their mistakes. And like we say, this is a game of fine margins. A derby always comes down to those small things, those intricate decisions, those moments, and if you do not have the mettle to use them, because that was really a shady case of handling and passing the ball by Hashim Kabogoza, and he's going to be banking on his teammate Michael Kalyango to perhaps give him the opportunity to get the 3 points and salvage him for his errors.
Cyrus Sebuliba hoping that Kalyango can skew this one again, and then his team can get the chance to play. And he makes another mess of that kick. Surely Kalyango is having a bad day today. You can see across the pitch, Richard Lumu is in disbelief. Kalyango will need to pick up himself, keep his head back into the game and play. Perhaps at one point he'll find his bearings, and what a carry by Kenneth Okong. Now Kibirige, Kabogoza, Obito losing that ball forward. Impis now in possession, but they have the scrum advantage. Twaha Chomhendo looking like he's going for that boot, sends it to Magezi, and it's been charged down, so there will be a scrum. It was high time that Impis brought on their joint top try scorer. A joint top try scorer, Pius Mpoza. He's got some cheers from the fans. Emmanuel Sediabane playing well at the number 8, but not exactly as efficient as his fellow dangerous loose forward. But the 3 tries of Mpoza is what perhaps Impis need to get more points on the board. His first involvement will be off the scrum. It's their feed. What will Impis be able to do from this sequence? You can hear from, as the stadium just quiets down, you can hear Twaha telling Kalyango that Mpoza is coming. You can see the smile from the 2 halfbacks. The experienced Twaha tapping the head of the youngster Kalyango, who is not having the best of days today. True to form, Pius Mpoza picks. And as warned as he was, Kalyango has won the turnover, but he did not release in that tackle. Mpoza very quick to get off his feet, to get on his knees. Jonathan Magezi off the tee, has not put a foot wrong today. Perhaps one of the men that have put their hand up for player of the match today. Couple of changes for the Rams as well. Jose Anconte comes on. Five-man line out for the Impis. It goes to the front to Shafiq Wampande. Very good line out from the Impis. They've done better in this round. And now Pius Mpoza breaking the gain line. Quick ball by Twaha and a diving pass. Jerome Tasiku cutting back inside, looking for that space in the defense, and he's still going. Arrested by Jose Anconte. He's on his knees. Ball still secured by the Impis. Martin Odong on that carry. And now to the backs. Mpoza choosing to play alone. He's been held up by the Impis, but the Rams are offside. Mpoza on the quick restart. Jude Kakara certainly will be going to the bin for this one.
I mean, one of the things we've been talking about in this particular game is understanding of the laws of the rugby. And you're not 10 meters back, and then you're trying to hold advantage play. And there we're seeing Rams getting to 14 players now, and an opportunity for Robert Sentongo to perhaps extend this lead. So it's interesting to see. But you can see the impact that Pius Mpoza brings. A crowd favorite here, clearly. But he has brought that kind of impetus. But another thing that I'm really observing is the way youngster number 10 Jonathan Magezi is really stretching the ball and stretching play, making sure that the ball is moving wide. So he's stretching Rams defense so much, and he is really impacting. So maybe perhaps we may see in the future a case of 10 and 12 between Henry Sekui and Jonathan Magezi. Who knows?
It's not the first. It wouldn't be the first time that Impis are using that strategy. They played 10-12 with Spencer Muhire, who has now become a proper 12. They played 10-12 with Edmund Wire, who will be coming off the bench later in this one. But it is Robert Sentongo the man who has become the go-to kicker for points for Impis to stretch the lead. He has done well in the first half, unlike Michael Kalyango, his cohort, then the same age bracket, played rugby in the age grade. And like clockwork, slots it through. This young man is in the zone. Straight through the uprights. What a kick from Robert Sentongo. And that high five from his teammates as Impis stretch their lead to 6.0 as we inch closer to the hour mark.
Yeah, the under-20 national team teammates having contrasting efforts from the boot. Robert Sentongo, stellar performance of a purple patch, I should say. Michael Kalyango, a woeful day that he needs to perhaps correct as Impis now stretching their lead.
They're able to gather to collect the restart, but Rams have forced the situation. Caught that turnover and then that penalty for collapsing. Spencer Muhire is protesting something that could have happened to him in that mall. I think it must be some of the dark arts that we've seen time and time again in the season, especially with the Rams being accused time and time again of the dark arts once the ball has been held up in the mall. I am certain that that is what happened in this situation as another fight breaks out between Fredo Chan and the rest of the Impis forwards. Shafiq Wampande sent to the floor there. It's getting messy. But this is Spencer Muhire picking out Hashim Kawogoza, surely. Or rather, Nicholas Bukenya, picking out Nicholas Bukenya for something that he certainly has every reason to be angry about. But we wait to see which decision the referee is going to be taking for this one, because suddenly if someone gets punished today for that situation, then there will be a judicial hearing later in the week.
Yeah, I mean, what is a derby without a few handbags here and there? But interesting to see what the referee is going to call, perhaps with some consultation from the captains and from his assistants. Yellow card there. And the Rams have been characteristic of some cynical player, I should say. And we are seeing a yellow card there given to one of the players who we're going to just confirm in a bit.
Yeah, it's Nicholas Bukenya in the sin bin. And then also Robert Sentongo as well. The sin bin has been very busy today as the action gets back underway. 2 men in the bin for the Rams and 1 for the Impis. It's 13 against 14 as the Rams attack with the advantage. Kalyango on the quick restart, long pass wide to Kenneth Obito and he loses that ball. It goes into touch. You can see the frustration there with the Rams fans and the agony with the Impis players, with the Rams players rather. But what a lucky break from the Rams, from the Impis.